Does it look like I'm going fishing? Does this look like a fishing pole? It's supposed to, because today we're going to talk about a book that when it was published, practically every time it's published, it has a picture of a little boy going fishing on it, because today we're going to talk about the book by Mark Twain, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Now, the interesting thing about Huckleberry Finn and this book is that Huckleberry Finn, the little scamp, was actually a character in the book Tom Sawyer. When Mark Twain was writing Tom Sawyer, he discovered that Huckleberry kind of had a little more personality. He was a little more interesting, and he wound up spending a lot of time developing the character, wound up writing the book. So he wrote this book before he even got to Tom Sawyer. Now, the interesting thing about all of Mark Twain's work is that it is so visual. Wonderful narratives, but of course it's always on a river or in rural areas. It's just wonderful books for making visual statements, like a movie. And we've talked about this before, where storytelling is just storytelling. You can see a play, or you can watch a movie, or you can read the book, and it just doesn't matter, because somehow you're going to find the power of that story in one of those mediums. So I say watch these movies too. Now, there have been a couple of interesting versions of this. The very first version of this was a silent version in 1917, if you can believe it, and then one again in 1920, and then decade after that they made 5 and 6 versions of it per decade. So there are lots of versions of both Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn. Interesting one I'd like to talk about is the most recent one from about 2014, where the actor Val Kilmer actually plays Mark Twain. Very interesting. He plays him as an aging author. Quite a nice piece of work for Val Kilmer. So, lots of interesting stories by Mark Twain, all of them visual, all of them wonderful narratives, and like what we like to say here, read it, then watch it.